Hello neighbors, welcome back to Along the Red River. This afternoon I'm going to share with you one of my favorite recipes. I think I've discussed that I have a major sweet tooth. I love sweets. So I try to find ways to make them healthy. Several years ago I found this recipe, cowboy cookies, and I modified it to use a little bit healthier ingredients and something that we eat every day are these cookies. They have some good nutrition in them and they taste good. So that's the most important thing. We're going to start out with the wet ingredients, and I've got it in this mixing bowl right here. So I've got 2 eggs, I've got a half a cup of brown sugar, and this is what I use. Along with 2 teaspoons of vanilla flavoring, and that's pure vanilla. I always try to use pure vanilla. Along with a 1/3 cup of avocado oil, and that's what I use. I've used this for years. That would replace canola oil or any of the seed oils. And then I'm going to add half a cup of peanut butter. Sometimes I use a protein powder, but this time we're just going to use peanut butter because there's protein in peanut butter, right? I went ahead and put it into my measuring cup. I also put a little bit of the avocado spray in there. Hopefully that will help it slide out easier. Actually, it did pretty good. So yeah, this is probably, we're going to eat them, so it doesn't matter. All right, that's pretty good. That got a good amount of the peanut butter out. So we're going to mix that together. Now I have a KitchenAid, but when I'm doing something like this, I normally take just a fork and I'll whisk it together. Simpler. I do love my KitchenAid, but I just don't feel like cleaning all of that. I guess I have to clean this too, but this is going in the dishwasher. So we got that mixed together. Now my dry ingredients. I have 1 cup of almond flour, a half a cup of coconut flour, a half a cup of old-fashioned oats, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. So this is the almond flour I use. Actually, we order this and get it in bulk. Now, I like the coconut flour. And this is the oats I use. Now, I find these at Costco. It's a great price. I can't remember how much it was, but it's organic. It's free of glyphosate, I can't say it, gluten-free, non-GMO, the way food should be. So I love this product. I've got all that mixed into here. I also have 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. If you don't like cinnamon, you don't have to use it. We just like it. It just adds a good flavor to the cookies. And then the baking powder, Runfort's baking powder. I found this on Amazon. I was kind of doing a little bit of research to see which were some of the better baking powders, baking sodas. So I found that one. I get that at a pretty decent deal. So I'm just going to combine all this together. And again, I use a spoon. Now, if you want to get your KitchenAid out, or if you have a hand mixer or a KitchenAid or something like that, you can use it. But I just do this right here. And they came together really, really good. This is a little trick that I use sometimes. If what I'm cooking or what I'm making, baking, if it is a little too thick, I'll add just a teeny bit of hot water or just a little bit of warm water. Just a little splash to kind of, you could do that with milk. I could do that with, I could use coconut milk, but again, I'm usually in a hurry. I'm usually wanting, nobody, I mean, you don't want to stay in the kitchen all the time. Just add a little bit of water. I guess you could do warm water, just something to add a little bit more moisture to it. So that's the base. That's the base right there. If you didn't want chocolate, you wouldn't have to put chocolate in there. You could put in raisins or cranberries. You could put in, you could chop up some, have some dried fruit, whatever you like. So that's the base. And if you didn't want the peanut butter, you could add unflavored protein powder. So there's that. Now, I like chocolate. We like chocolate. I say my husband likes chocolate too. So this is about a cup of dark chocolate chips. If you had the baking bars, you can cut those up. I ain't got the time for that. I think I've showed you all this before. I found these, or Ghirardelli's. Anything 72% or higher is what I use. Anything lower than that, you don't get any of the benefits of dark chocolate. And I find it very hard to find dark chocolate chips or anything affordable. So when I can find stuff on sale, I usually load up on it. So in here, I keep this in my freezer, and I get this from my mom. That's what she always did. There is a bar, there's some dark chocolate bars in there. This is from Local Honey. We know these people in Berea. Just recycling the jar. I like to store things in glass jars, but I keep that in the freezer. So we got all of that in there. I'll just mix that around. I may need to add a little bit more water to it to give it some more moisture. And it doesn't seem to take away the taste of it. Another thing that I like is coconut flakes. And I could not find any. I mean, I went to Meijer. Of course, Costco doesn't have it. Could not find any shredded coconut. So this is some I've ordered from this company before. Oh, actually ordered tea from them before. It's unsweetened coconut, shredded coconut. So that's a good little add-in right there. And then I said add a cup of chopped nuts. Let's see if this is a cup. I don't know. I chopped quite a few. Today I'm using well, it's over a cup. I'm using pecans and walnuts, and I'm going to put them all in there. So that was a cup, and this is what's left over, that little bit right there. So it's it's more of a stiff batter. And a little bit of water in there, just to give it some moisture. If you look out the window, I believe we might get a little bit of rain. We need just something to water everything with. Oh, y'all, it's been so dry. But this is what happens in July. We seem to forget it every year. We forget and how the seasons cycle. But it would be nice to get some rain. We've been watering things, but out of our rain barrels, they're about empty. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of rain. this afternoon before we go check on the cattle. All right, she looks good. Now, I've got things prepared. I'm gonna move this out of the way, and I have my baking sheet. I have some stoneware baking sheets. I use those sometimes. Again today, I just want to get this. I want to get the cookies made. I don't feel like getting everything out. Just being real. So I've got that and my cookie scoop. This is one of my leftovers from Pampered Chef. You can probably find these in any of the stores. This is, I said it's a small, maybe it's more of a medium, but I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, so we're gonna scoop these out, and we're not gonna touch them right now. So I've got my parchment paper down, and I put a little bit of the avocado spray. And I've already preheated the oven to 350. We have a convection oven, and 12 minutes seems to really work for my oven. So you may have to just check with whatever oven you're using. I've only baked them in the oven. I've never used an air fryer or anything like that. But just the first time you make them, you know, maybe after 10 minutes, take a look at them. And at 12 minutes, if they don't seem that they're finished, then you can add another minute to it. But I'll show you what they look like when they come out. I started trying to cook and bake healthier several years ago. You know, both of us come from Southern families. We come from families who love to cook and eat good old Southern food, which there is nothing wrong with that. It's just really, no, it's not healthy. You can't do it all the time. You can't eat like you did when you were, you cannot joke, we can't eat like we did when we were 19. All right, so this one was too big. I just added that on there. Okay. Stuff on my hands. Yuck, yuck, yuck. What do I need? Oh, I need my trusty fork. So I got this trick from my mom, and this is probably, she got it from someone too. So you got your fork, wet it, and just press the cookies down. You could use your thumbs, wet, get them wet and press the cookies down. I don't always I like to do this. Now if I'm in a super hurry, then I will do that. There's something under, oh yeah, this thing. So it doesn't take really a long time. I have made these so much that I honestly didn't have a recipe until before I made this, I sat down and wrote what ingredients I was going to use. My husband's like, you need to have recipes if you're going to show your food on our channel. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I probably still have the original recipe. Again, I just made it. I just make this every week. All right, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 26 cookies, give or take. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 350. It is a convection oven, 350 for 12 minutes. Well, here's the finished cookies. I did add an extra 2 minutes. At 12 minutes, they didn't look completely baked to me, so I added 2 more minutes, so that was a total of 14 minutes. But they've turned out really good, and they taste good. Thanks again for watching. We always feel very blessed to share our part of the world with you. God bless, and have a great day.